pretty firm believer that there's not like a magic setting. All of a sudden I did 3 clicks of compression and I'm 5 seconds quicker. Like, that's bullshit. I feel like I'm usually pretty good at working on my own bike, but since I've had Jim, I've hardly had to. So it was only earlier this year that I learned how to take the shock out.
Being at the top of a World Cup for race run is a crazy place. Like, you can feel it. Like, the air has like a weird feel to it. Like,
correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like I'm that picky.
Just doesn't feel like that when you're working at 11 o'clock at night. But
come on.
We've never had an argument.
You're not falling out?
Not once.
Really?
Have we? No. Best part about Luke is when he rides off on that e-bike out the door at the end of the day.
All right, we're in the Canyon Collective pits with Luca Shaw. Many people will know. We've had you on the show before. Luca, you're good?
Yeah, doing well.
Good stuff.
Thanks for having me back.
It's always a pleasure, mate. And we're joined by your wonderful mechanic, Jim Bland. First time podcast.
First time podcast with downtime. So, yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Yeah. Back after the summer break. So, getting back into the swing of things. But, yeah, all good.
And work for you guys starts well before the season, yeah? Talk to us a little bit about how you two get everything ready so that when you turn up at round one, you're like ready to go.
I'll let you start, Jim.
I'll start on this one. So, I guess like most of our work is done by the time we get to the first World Cup. The World Cup is essentially just an execution of the of all the knowledge and testing we've gathered throughout the off season. So last year it kind of started, well, not for me, but it started for you in November with the SRAM testing. I had a nice little vacation then, so skip that one. But basically like that was a month off, was it? And then straight back into it?
Yeah, I would say like usually at least a month after the season is just, put the bike away, no work. But last year we started pretty early, testing with SRAM in November, and then had our first like proper team camp in January, and then all through from January on to the start of the season, it's like full on. The last 2 springs, Jim's been staying with me at my house in North Carolina, so we've been able to do a lot then, and that makes it easy. And like Jim said, it's like a lot of work before the season as far as like testing and preparation, and then once the season starts, it's so busy just with the racing schedule that you just kind of click into that mode and go to all the races and travel, and that's all you got time for. So
fair play.
Yeah, and I think this like block we're coming into now is a really good example of that, because we have 5 races in 7 weeks or something. So obviously like throughout the season we're learning things that we want to try and test going into the next off season, or preferably before. But like with the schedule we've got now, it's so hard to like knuckle down and thoroughly test something. Schedule is super hectic, but means we can hit the ground running when the season's over for sure.
What does a thorough testing process look like? Give us some insight into like how you structure your off season to make sure that you're kind of testing things in a way that you can believe what you're learning, and that you can like use that to inform your setup for the racing. I
think like we've kind of got a pretty good process now, and I think what we've found is like to do like proper testing, it's really, really time consuming, because say you want to test one specific part on the bike, you want to isolate that and only test that day, to really get like a good answer, like whether it's better or not. And then once you've done that, you've really only done that on one track. So like we race on all different types of tracks, so like to properly get to the bottom of any one thing takes so much time. So you kind of have to pick your battles in a little bit too. You having like, 10 different things you want to do, which, you kind of have to choose which one of those is the most important, and dedicate a lot of time to that. So it's very time consuming to do it correctly. But I think it's worth it to do it correctly. It ends up being a lot of work, but I think to do proper testing, that's kind of the only way. And then obviously you want to have it like verified with timing, verified with your feeling, and
different conditions, different tracks, and
it's a huge matrix of like information when you look at it.
For sure, it's quite time consuming, and it's definitely a process, and you kind of have to be disciplined, especially when you're getting thrown and fed new stuff all the time. Like, we'll get to it, but we kind of have a rule too, like we don't test at races. So since May we've been at races, so the bike kind of is the same as the start of the season. But yeah, you kind of just take the data and everything you've learned and like make notes and be like, right, okay, in the off season we need to get to the bottom of all of these things. And go from there.
Yeah, I'm gonna sound like an old man here as well, but testing is like such a buzzword now in downhill. Everybody seems to be testing, but like the approach we kind of take is with problem and solution.
Okay.
So you like highlight a problem and then work on the process to finding a solution for that.
Okay.
We're not just like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like the package we have is excellent, but obviously there's always room for improvement. But yeah, if we find a problem, it's like, right, let's hone in on that, find the best solution for it, and test until we find the optimum whatever the optimum solution is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely like a very methodical approach, rather than just like I say, spraying and seeing what sticks.
What were the main problems you wanted to try and solve this winter then? Like, what kind of stuff were you playing with? You'd had a season on that bike at that point, I guess.
Yeah, I think we were already in a much better spot just having a whole year on this new sender. And like, of course, there's always like, I feel like suspension is like a whole different thing because there's always new stuff inside our suspension from RockShox. And like, we have 2 or 3 tests per year that are just for the suspension. And that was one thing that we kind of did this year, was doing a lot more like blind testing, which I really liked because I don't really need to understand everything that's going on inside. I just need to like it and like the way it feels. So just being handed a shock and be like, tell me if you like it. Like I like to do it that way because then I don't have any ideas in my head. But yeah, this winter we did a lot with like frame stiffness, like chassis stiffness, basically.
Looking for grip? Is that where you're trying to get more compliance?
Trying to get more grip, but a good balance of the two. Like,
it can be too soft, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically just trying to find out which kind of combination of parts make the bike feel best for me.
Yeah.
And in each condition, and then we did quite a lot with tire and wheel setup, this sort of thing. And then, tons on the suspension. I also went to new brakes last winter, so that took some time to get used to, and all the different pad rotor combinations, that kind of stuff. So
it's insane, isn't it?
It's a lot.
How do you keep track of it, Jim?
I do everything digitally.
Okay.
So every single run we've ever done together. So this is our second year working together now.
Yeah.
But yeah, every single test session we've done or race, every run, I have a documentation of the setup for that run, what was changed, the feeling, and so every single thing is documented.
Is that something you've created? Is that like a Canyon internal thing? How does it work?
That's something I've created.
Okay.
But
so
then
everyone's
obviously
a bit different.
Yeah, obviously it's shared with Canyon, and a lot of the suspension, all the suspension data is shared with RockShox.
Yeah.
Because that's how we're making progress there. But I used to, like, when I first started, write everything down on pen and paper, but when you come back to it 2 months later and you can't read your own handwriting, it's quite nice to have it digitally stored, and it's so easy for us to share as well. Like, obviously we live on the other side of the world from each other, really. So if Luca's riding at home, we have a shared Dropbox account which every single setting tracking sheet is in there.
Okay.
So he can just look at that, be like, oh, this is the amount of clicks I need, pressures, wheel setups, and even down to like our wheels. Like, our wheels are coded with colored electrical tape, so you can just take a glance at the wheel and know the like spoke configuration, whether it's got a tire insert in it,
no way,
spoke tension, whether it's every single little detail is kind of analyzed and documented. So
what's he like when you're not there though?
I got some good Instagram videos of him last week telling me to where to go, basically, because I was at home. So
I feel like I'm usually pretty good at working on my own bike, but since I've had Jim, I've hardly had to. So it was only earlier this year that I learned how to take the shock out of the new bike.
I think that's quite interesting though, like going back to what you said before, like the trust thing and the blind testing. Like, I feel like this year we've there's quite a lot of changes I'll make on the bike, and like, not that you don't know, but it's kind of like you don't need to know, you know what I mean? Like with the suspension
I also don't
stuff.
really feel like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like I'm that picky.
No.
So
that's a good one. Just
doesn't feel like that when you're working at 11 o'clock at night, but
come on. So like I'm not that particular really, but I just like that my bike feels the same each time, and I know what I'm riding. So I don't know, I just Jim does all the work, I just ride it.
Perfect partnership.
How do you look at like overlap? Because you can change one thing on a bike, get that dialed in perfectly, and then you get a new fork tune and everything's thrown back to, well, not maybe back to the start, but like you've got a lot of relearning to do. How do you deal with all the overlap of variables?
Yeah, I mean, that's tricky. I mean, it is like a package, right? So like I feel like tires and rims is a good example. Like you might really like this tire, but then you go to a wider rim and then all of a sudden the tire is completely different. Like,
yeah.
Or spoke tension. Like everything works as like a package.
It's a system, yeah.
For sure. And same with like your frame stiffness and your suspension stiffness. Like, yeah, it all has to sort of work together. And that's where I think you can like sort of get yourself lost in the weeds. And I also think I kind of am a pretty firm believer that there's not like a magic setting. Like you're not going to one day like click all of a sudden I did 3 clicks of compression and I'm 5 seconds quicker. Like that's bullshit. Like
it's never gonna happen.
It doesn't work like that. And I think like that's where like being like on it with just the recording what we've been on, and this is what we've been on for 4 races, so we know it works. We know it's not going to do anything weird.
Yeah.
And you know, you can try and refine it, and for sure like after a while you might make a little step, but it's going to be a little step. Like it's you know, there's no magic in it. So
it's a shame, isn't it? Be nice to have some magic.
Yeah. Make my job a lot easier if it could just sprinkle some dust.
But
on
I don't know. I'd like to think I'm not a massive head case with my bike setup. Like I like it to feel like my bike and be used to it and comfortable on it. And I'll make little adjustments if I need to, but not be searching for anything crazy.
Try not to get too lost in the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So
I think it's easy to do.
Yeah. How many runs were done pre-season this year then? You've obviously got all the data, but what sort of volume of testing are you doing?
Probably, I know for sure the year before, like when we first got the bike, so when it was still in its prototype phase, before we even got to the first race, we had over 200 documented test runs.
Fair dues.
I think this year, because I try and keep count, I think I did over 300 runs, whether testing or training, like downhill runs, like between the last World Cup and the first World Cup. So the whole off season, over 300.
Yeah.
And how many venues might that be across? So how many different tracks?
At least, well, it's hard to say. Like different tracks, probably a lot. But like, for example, I might go to Windrock 10 times but ride 5 different tracks there, you know what I mean? But so hard to say, but I mean I'd say 20 different tracks probably.
Yeah. And how close to race pace do you have to be for the data and the feeling to be relevant?
I think that seat time and riding, like whether it's 75, 80, 90% is like really, really valuable to just get that bike feel and comfort. I do think that's where like the preseason races is really handy, because I mean, I know for me personally, I cannot, no matter what, ride at the intensity of a World Cup race run unless I'm in a World Cup race run.
Yeah, fair.
Like even in practice at a World Cup, like I know I can't speak for everyone, but like, I mean, I see other guys riding at like such insane speed, and for me, I just can't bring myself to do that unless I have the adrenaline and the like heightened focus of a race.
Yeah.
So that's where I think like doing some preseason races is really, really helpful, just to sort of feel that again, and also for the bike testing as well.
From a testing point of view, I feel like you almost need to be at that 80% capacity so you can keep it consistent.
Blow yourself up either.
And you can leave part of your headspace to think about what part of the bike we're focusing on. So again, consistency is always key. So
and staying healthy, right? Like you can't afford to be taking time off testing, training, riding.
And
these days.
I think I'm also like, I feel like I have enough experience now to kind of, I know what it's like when I get into a World Cup race run, and like, you almost feel, I don't know, I almost feel like I have superpowers. Like the adrenaline is so intense, and like I know how that's going to feel, and I know that I'm going to want my bike a little stiffer. I know I'm going to want that 1 more PSI in my tires, like that kind of thing. The last few years, I've really tried to like up my intensity, like in practice at World Cups, but I still just, there's just something different about that race run adrenaline and the nerves, and it's like a pretty powerful concoction.
It's some drug, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Keeps
you
coming back for more. So
it's crazy. So it's hard to have that feeling in February when it's 5 degrees and you're riding in the rain by yourself. It's just not going to happen. So yeah.
Fair. Talk us through like your race week process then, Jim. And once you land on site and start getting bikes built up, like how do you and Luca work together throughout the week to get him where he needs to be for the race day adrenaline?
I guess from my point of view, it's again just sticking to a process. So I do the exact same work on the bike pretty much at the exact same time every day. So my end of day strip down is exactly the same regardless whether we do 2 practice runs, 10 practice runs. Everything is just sticking to the process and making sure no stone is left unturned, really. But yeah, back to my point earlier, like the race is an execution point. Like that's where we execute everything that we've put into practice. So you can't afford for there to be anything that's not 100% really. So day one is full strip down, rebuild of the bike, part inspection, anything that needs replacing, whether it's cosmetically damaged or like Luca's been on his own for the past 3 weeks riding here.
So he's been rounding off bolts.
The bike was, it had definitely seen better days. So, but that almost makes it easy to just rip everything off and make it fresh again. So, back to Luca's point, like consistency, the bike just needs to feel the same every time he gets on it. So, I have a process that I stick to every day. Try and make it perfect, really.
And then you get up the hill, and then do you start feeding back? Are you using like data rack on the bike? How do you work together through that like practice setup phase?
Yeah, we do use data. Like all of last year as well. Basically, since we started working together and since we got this new bike, we've had data on the bike. This year, we're only using it in practice, just because basically we did use it a bit last year in like semis and qualies, but now with no protected riders, we try and just if a sensor breaks and is flapping, like just try and eliminate that possibility. So we just use it in practice on the first day practice, and I could not tell you one bit of information that comes from that. That's not my realm at all. I literally couldn't tell you one piece of data besides top speed. Max speed. That's the only
most
thing I care
important
about.
one. Yeah.
That's all that matters to me. Not average speed, just max speed.
But we keep saying we're going to do a race where we put the whole data system on, but only put the speed sensor on.
Just the wheel magnet. But so we use data, and I try and not even really think about what the bike's doing, at least for the first few runs, because my experience is I always feel like the bike feels weird the first few runs until you learn the track and you know what you're doing. Get warmed up and actually like let off the brakes and ride properly. So don't usually touch the bike the first few runs, and then we might tweak it by run 4 or 5, like a click here and there. But it's also handy, basically having a lot of these races, we come to the same track every year, so we knew what worked last year. We can have a good starting point, and we go from there.
What's that communication look like then, Jim? Once Luca's got up to speed and he's starting to talk about the bike, are you making decisions purely based on what Luca says? Are you using the data to inform it? How do you look at managing all the information that's coming back to the pit and deciding what to change?
It's a combination of the two for sure. And obviously in between those practice runs, you only have a very limited amount of time. So again, going back to it, it's like sticking to the process of doing the same thing when the bike comes in. We'll have a chat about like how Luca's feeling, how the track's developing. Because a lot of times, like if you go to a new venue, for example, run 1 to run 12, the track is going to be unrecognizable. So the bike setup can change a lot in that time too. But again, I'll just read the data, make a decision on that, speak to the guys at RockShox if we need to make any tune changes or anything. But again, ultimately it comes down to Luca's confidence. So if we can get the bike into a state where he can perform at his best, then that's the aim of where we want to end up, really.
Who leads the change? Is it you saying, I've heard your feedback, I've seen your data, I think you need to do this? Or is it you saying, it feels like this, I think we need to go here?
I think it's gone more towards Jim recently.
That's cool.
Like, I mean, if there's something that I feel is off, I'll obviously say like, oh, this feels off, I think we should try this or try that. But if I feel like I'm in a good place and I feel like the bike's good, then it's kind of, if Jim thinks we can optimize it some way, I trust him to make a change there. But if if there's an issue, I'll let him know. But otherwise, I trust him, and I trust the guys at RockShox a lot to optimize it, because they, like I said earlier, I don't know what's going on inside the suspension.
Yeah,
I don't know how it works really, so they do.
Shims, oil, something like that.
A bit of air.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's magic. I don't know.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of the cool thing too. We have that trust built up and experience working together. I trust him he knows what works.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, fair enough. How valuable has it been spending so much time together in the off season, like basically staying at Luca's place? And it must be a big part of that relationship you guys now have.
Oh, don't even get me started. We have a rule now where we can only communicate between the hours of 9 and 5, and other than that, it's like not even eye contact.
Off.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny. Like the last couple of years, I've definitely spent more time with Luca than anybody else.
No way.
Yeah. Like definitely last year. Last year was
last summer. Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. It was way too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess you know each other well enough that when the shit hits the fan kind of thing, which it was going to at some point during a World Cup season, that you can deal with it.
Yeah, for sure. And also just like being able to like kind of laugh through certain things is important. I think it's pretty easy to take anything too seriously. You know, we're still doing this for fun and
for sure
try and have a good time and enjoy it. So yeah, we keep it light.
Yeah.
How do you keep it light? Because there must be some high pressure situations, like late weather changes seems to be pretty consistent at World Cups, like dry, race run, hammers it down. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's definitely, especially this year, no protection has been pretty stressful, and it's not always like, sometimes it's really nerve wracking and it's serious stuff. So yeah, you got to kind of balance that out. I think you can't just live in that for months on end, you know, like when we're away from the races, we're not talking about the bike. Like, when we're like, laid back, kicking it after the race or whatever, even, you know, night before the race, like, you got to take your mind off it and enjoy what you're doing and enjoy going to all these cool places. Cause there's definitely times where I can tell, like, you obviously can tell I'm nervous, or I can tell Jim's nervous. Like, it's a pressure cooker. Like it's intense. So yeah.
But I think experience just gets you to the point where you can read the situation enough to know what, like, we can be joking and ripping the piss out of each other on the chairlift on the way up to the race run, but then like as soon as the trainer comes out, it's like, I don't know, it's like a flick of a switch.
I was going to ask about that. Like, how do you try and read Luca and manage him to get him in the best possible condition once the beeps go?
It's just like an instinct thing almost. I think it's like you can, I don't know, that tension's a funny one. Like you can like being at the top of a World Cup for race run is a crazy place. Like you can feel it. Like the air has like a weird feel to it. Like I don't know, and like
for sure,
yeah, you just get wrapped up in that, and you can just read the pressure, read the situation, and act accordingly.
Is he pretty consistent, or does it vary round to round?
Yeah, your warm up's the same every single time, isn't it? So,
but what about his like headspace?
Definitely a shift this year, like you were saying with the no protection. Like Poland Q1 was like, the feeling was definitely different.
I think pretty much every quali this year has been like the most nervous I've ever been. Just because, like, that's a different type of pressure that I'm not really used to.
You've been protected, right?
I've basically been protected my whole career.
Yeah.
And even when, even if I wasn't protected, honestly, the level has gone so high. Like, I always was kind of pretty easily into the finals. Like, whether I was protected or not, it's never like this, you know? So, I think that's a good thing, though. I think that those nerves and that pressure, I always have kind of rose my game for that. And I think that when the day comes that I'm not nervous is probably not a good thing. but it's kind of, I look at it as like a privilege, you know? Like, I don't think many people in their day job have like adrenaline and nerves and like emotion to that extreme. So it's trying really and kind of just enjoy it somehow.
I like leaning into that pressure now.
Okay.
Like my first couple of years, like I couldn't eat at like on race day morning. When now it's like you say, it's like that privilege to be able to like lean into it and be like, let's go. Like today's the day. And
do you feel that difference in Jim as well? Like I imagine it's better when Jim's kind of revved up as much as you are, rather than.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think I can definitely tell when he's nervous. And it's funny how it all comes like back to normal so quick after the race. And then like when the adrenaline goes away, it's like you're just so tired. Like, it's like everything calms down and the nerves go away, and it's regardless of how the race goes, it's like a nice feeling. You kind of like bring everything back down to earth. But yeah, it's a roller coaster, no doubt.
Yeah, and we've got at least 3 or 4 fast guys coming up next season to make it even more challenging.
Man, don't even get me started. I don't even want to think about that right now. I already got enough fast guys to try and beat. Yeah, it's insane. Like, the level is just nuts, and I don't see it getting any easier.
No, for sure. The kids coming through the sport are insane, eh?
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Definitely wasn't like that when I was a junior. All these kids are just already so pinned, so fast, so consistent as well, and they all seem to know what they're doing. Like, I mean, when I was a junior, I had no clue what I was doing. So
yeah, interesting.
Gotta try and improve every year.
So how far ahead do you start planning for next season then, Jim? Like, when do you start putting in like test plans, looking at what you want to cover? I guess you get, there's always new product coming from the brands that support the team as well.
Yeah, and like I was saying, every day you learn something new. Like, you learn like an area that you want to focus on going forward, and like just had a chat dropping the suspension off at RockShox this morning for service. We started chatting about some things we want to do in November. So we're already like forward planning for.
You didn't mention that to Luca.
No, I haven't actually said that to him yet. But yeah, they want to get the ball rolling early, and
yeah, because the season finishes it's mid-October this year.
Yeah, it's
late,
crazy.
Right? Yeah. So you get like a week off.
Nah,
it'll be more than that.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy finishing so late nowadays. The off season seems like it's just getting shorter and shorter, but yeah, it's life.
Yeah. Is there ever pressure from sponsors? Like, say someone's launching a new product mid-season, is there a pressure for you guys to hop on that straight away? Like, how do you manage that? Because you said we don't test at races, but I guess there's that potential for product to change. There's
definitely been some times like that, some instances. For the most part, they totally understand and are cool with it. It's kind of just a balance. I kind of try and put that on to Gabe. That's that's his responsibility.
Somebody else's problem.
And it's not that we don't we're not point blank refusing to test at races, but it's just a logical, like, we're just thinking logically, like, at the race you only do 12 runs.
You need familiarity, right?
Exactly.
Well, I think like a good example that I think we can probably speak about now is the Maven brakes. Like, when they first came out, I was really excited to jump on them quick as possible because I wanted more braking power. I thought I did, and I put them on my bike straight away, and it was like a mud race, and I just couldn't control the power, and I was crashing left and right, and I didn't feel comfortable on the bike at all. And that was like a valuable lesson to learn. Like, just because it's new and shiny doesn't mean you need it right away. And then I actually rode the codes way longer than anyone else did, and then this year I had to ride the Mavens and spent all winter on them and got used to them, and now I love them. So it just takes time. Like, just because whether it's better, it's still different. So I think that's an important kind of distinction to make. Like, I would almost rather have a bike that's on paper a little worse, that I know how it's going to react and I know exactly how it's going to feel. I put a lot of value in that familiarity for sure. So.
Fair. Let's wrap up. We'll start off by just finding out what your favorite thing about working with Luca is.
This is where it's going to get uncomfortable. We usually don't talk.
Yeah, we don't talk.
We don't speak nicely to
this.
each other.
No, we don't. No. Yeah.
You can have the worst thing about Luca if that's easier.
Best part about Luca is when he rides off on that e-bike out the door at the end of the day. I don't know. It feels weird talking about it. We just get on. It's easy. It's easy.
Yeah.
Like,
you seem to have a really good relationship.
Yeah.
Which is
just a good balance of fun, I guess. Like saying, it's so important to be taking the piss out of each other and keeping it lighthearted, because it is stressful, and been away from home so much, and there is a lot of first world additional stresses, but it's nice just to be be able to keep it fun and not super serious. And
good stuff. What about you? You get on with him all right?
Oh god. Honestly, yeah, really good.
Stop talking.
No, it's been, the last 2 years have been like honestly epic, and
Nice.
yeah, we spent so much time together. We like to give each other shit.
Yeah.
Um,
We've never had an argument.
You're not falling out?
Not once.
Really?
Have we? No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Like Jim's a smart dude, and he knows that I'm the boss, and he knows that when I say
Bullshit.
go. So no, it's been sick, and Jim's fucking, yeah, he's the man.
Yeah.
So it's smooth sailing in our end of the pit.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for taking some time out of a busy
thank
race
you.
week, giving us a bit of insight into what you guys get up to, and yeah, hope the race goes well for you both.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Cheers.
easy.